Hello, it's another edition of the Counter Press. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. Welcome. Similarly a reaction to what has happened to Arsenal, and I don't know if really the pressure is getting to them, and then they are crumbling under the pressure. So we'll discuss that and some tidbits on Chelsea Football Club, and really if Mauricio Pochettino is the man for the job, and if Todd Boehly looks like he knows exactly what he's doing as Chelsea Football Club. So yeah, thank you very much for joining once again. My name Fiifi-Manfred. Like we always do, kindly do like, subscribe and share. We'll be grateful if you do that for us. So that's going to motivate us to do more for you. In the description below, the Fiifi-Manfred WhatsApp pages, the links are there. Join up. Let's have a discussion of football, and then of course there's some betting odds also to this to chance on in that group as well. So let's get straight to it. I'm one person who has believed in Mikel Arteta for a very long time. If you have followed my work and my videos, and of course my tweets at Fiifi_Manfred on Twitter, and of course Fiifi-Manfred on Facebook, you know that I'm very, very much a lover of Mikel Arteta's work, and I believe him. I think that the last 3 games has been somewhat one of turmoil for Arsenal Football Club. And for once, I'm beginning to believe that maybe the pressure is beginning to catch up on them. And I'll tell you why I say this. So, Arsenal Football Club, this team is a very young team. So the likes of Xhaka, Martinelli, Gabriel are all very, very young players. Trossard, Odegaard, fairly very young players. William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Ben White, fairly young team. Even their manager, Mikel Arteta, is a young manager. In the backroom staff, there are some of the very, very young managers they are going to get in Europe also there for Arsenal Football Club. So people were expecting that definitely we're going to have some of these issues. But I think that generally throughout this season, Arsenal has managed to deal with the pressure thus far until the last 3 games. And why do I say until the last 3 games? Mind you, in these last 3 games, Arsenal has had a draw to Liverpool after taking a 2-0 goal advantage, and then they crumpled under the pressure at Anfield. At the time, I felt that was a points gain for Arsenal Football Club. But with hindsight, I can understand that people will say that was 2 points drop, and I agree now. That game at West Ham, 2 goals up, West Ham manages to crawl back into the game and draw it 2-2, especially after Bukayo Saka misses a penalty and Arsenal in precarious situation. And I think that what has given the conversation even much more some perspective in terms of if Arsenal really crumbling under pressure is that 3-3 draw to Southampton at home at the Emirates. So first of all, the game was at home at the Emirates. It was one of the games that people felt that Arsenal should be able to win, especially since their next game is going to be at the Etihad against Manchester City. Arsenal went into the game with William Saliba absent. In fact, he has been absent for a couple of games now. And tactically, these are some of the things I felt was going to worry Arsenal. Yes, the quality in depth, Arsenal doesn't have it compared to Manchester United. So hence, always we're going to feel the heat when it comes to it. William Saliba's injury did not come at the right time for them, and you could tell in that game. But first of all, I think I need to give credit to Ruben Sellers and how he set up his Southampton side. They were very high and wide. They pressed aggressively. Maybe because they knew that the trigger for their press is going to be somebody like Rob Holding, who is not fairly comfortable on the ball like a William Saliba. So if you realize when they started that game, the first mistake from Aaron Ramsdale, he was forcing a pass. When Magalhaes had opened up, Holding was on the other side, Ben White had shaped up also. And then he was forcing the pass to Alexander Zinchenko when Thomas Partey tried to open that passing lane. It was seemingly going to be difficult. But then, of course, Ramsdale has been very good with the ball playing ability since the beginning of the season. And you were not expecting that he was going to get that wrong. Yes, he's a clumsy goalkeeper sometimes. And that led to that first goal. So, first of all, the fact that William Saliba is out of the Arsenal team really did hurt them. Also, in the lead-up throughout that game, I felt that there was a lack of certain leadership that Granit Xhaka was supposed to give. I think that tactically, Southampton were a better side in the first half. They controlled large parts of the game. They pushed up high and wide. They pressed with a lot of intensity. And Arsenal lacked those controlling and security and players that will be secured on the ball, especially in the middle of the park for them. I think that this was a game that maybe with a Jorginho at some point, Arsenal could have generally controlled the play for them. So tactically, and I'm going to run it through it, Arsenal were not the best team in the first half, most especially. It only changed in the second half when they took foothold of the game and they dominated play from all angles. Thomas Partey hasn't been the Thomas Partey that we know in recent times for Arsenal Football Club, and he needs to come to the party. Now, the bigger question is, Arsenal need to win at the Etihad, right? Can they beat Manchester City at the Etihad? I think the answer is a straight yes. I think that if you look at that FA Cup game that Arsenal did lose at Manchester City and everything that they went through, they were a very good team tactically. They understood exactly how they wanted to play. They knew exactly where to hit Manchester City, but they were not clinical enough. I think that this Arsenal side in recent times have shown some mettle. And if you look at this Southampton game, West Ham game, Liverpool game, Bournemouth game, yes, they do go down, but then they never lost any of these games. They came up to make sure they get something from the game. Yes, in the last 3 games, instead of 9 points, they are getting just a little out, just 3 points, and they are losing 6. Not good enough. But I think that you can take something from that, and it's the fighting spirit that Arsenal do have, and they are going to show that mettle to the end of the season. And that game against Manchester City is going to be a big one. Also, do not forget that this Manchester City team is suffering from exhaustion. And while they have played a high-intensity game against Bayern Munich, home and away in the Champions League, they have come back to play Sheffield United. The next one is supposed to be at Arsenal, against Arsenal at the Emirates. A well-rested Arsenal before then. So you can understand that this Arsenal side may be in the best place and psychologically. But then I think that the biggest question for Mikel Arteta is going to be how he's going to handle the mental aspects of the game. If really he'll be able to side the players, not to get overly emotional, but to stay in the game, dictate the pace of the game, and then pounce on Manchester City as and when they have to. Then really they can go all out and get something from this game. So it is really not straightforward that Manchester City are going to win. I know if City were in the position that Arsenal were in now, people would have still said, oh, City can win, because they have shown us how quality they are and how well they've gone on title runs, and then they've beaten Liverpool on 2 occasions who had 90 points and over. So it's precarious for Arsenal, but it's a question of mentality. It's a question of how well they can find innovative ways to solve their tactical priorities, especially in the absence of William Saliba. Possibly Granit Xhaka should be back for that City game at the Etihad, and Saliba also possibly is in line to get back. Really, will he be fit enough to play and have a starting role in that game? It's a question that Mikel Arteta will be best to answer. But they need him for that ball playing ability. Some of the responses that I think that Mikel Arteta can have for this tactical issue is the fact that maybe Thomas Partey should slot back into CB as a centre back. Then you play Leandro Trossard in the middle of the park. Now you allow Thomas Partey to lead our first line of ball progression with his security and control on the ball when he has it. That also offers Ben White's ability to either come inverted or keep the width high and wide, so that Arsenal can have a lot of men in the first phase of ball progression and not resort to Aaron Ramsdale finding acute and then smaller angles to pass balls through. And of course, City is definitely going to come at Arsenal with a very, very high press. Mind you, Erling Braut Haaland is going to lead that press. He's going to be brute. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to go in hard on whoever is on the ball. So that should be done. Whilst that is done, Alexander Zinchenko should also drop into the middle of the park to add up to those numbers over there. Whilst Odegaard is also a very good receiver of the ball in the half, then you keep Martinelli and Odegaard and Xhaka high and wide to be on those balls. An extra man can be Leandro Trossard if he plays in that role of Granit Xhaka if he's out to the team. So Arsenal have players to get their responses to these tactical issues that they're having now, and then they need to keep their cool. I think essentially the responses, Mikel Arteta is tactically astute and he's up there to get them. But then really the biggest issue is mentally, are they going to be there? But then mind you, this Arsenal team has captains about 3 nations. The captain of the Norwegian national team is in there. The deputy captain of the Ghana national team, the Black Stars, is in there. There is another captain in that team who knows exactly what they want to do. So it's a team of captains. It's a team that know how to play in games like this. Xhaka is a top captain for the Swiss national team. So they know how to go about it. And I think it's just an issue of they being calm, not really crumbling to the pressure, finding solutions to the problems that they have now, and then they're taking the game to Manchester City. Really, they can find solutions to them, and I think that Arsenal can still win the title this season. So, guys, thank you. It was just a quick run into the Arsenal situation, and then really if they are crumbling under the pressure. This is the Counter Press. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. Please do what to subscribe, like, and share. See you soon. Bye.